Hey there, good evening. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph and I am the host of this show dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. So today we are doing our series Look Back, rock artists who thrilled us but since have passed on. This, I believe, is episode number, I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't have it with me. I think it's episode 57. From 2019, and we're doing Ginger Baker, of course, and Peter Tork of the Monkees. I don't know why I liked that show when I was a kid, and I was a big fan of the two guys I've done, which Peter Tork will be one of them today. Anyways, starting out. So we start with I think Peter Tork passed first, so he gets to go first. I messed up on that once, I think. Okay, so anyways, Peter Tork of the Monkees, that's his fame. Born February the 13th, 1942 in Washington, D.C., and he died February the 21st, 2019 at the age of 77, I believe? Yeah, 77. In Mansfield, Connecticut. Music, pop, rock, blues, folk. He played bass guitar, banjo, and piano, and was active from 1964 until his death in 2019. I didn't write down what his death was. I forgot about it. The main thing about Peter Tork was the character that he played on the Monkees was so far removed from his real life persona. He played a somewhat lovable dummy, I guess is the term that they like to use to describe him, always doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. But in real life, he was a very serious and a very good musician, and actually quite smart. Probably was the main musician in this group of guys here, even though this was a TV show about a rock band played by actors, but most of them had some kind of musical talent, and Peter had a fair bit of that. I liked this character on the show, and I think actually liked the show quite a bit. It was kind of a silly show, and the music was pretty poppy. It wasn't stuff that I don't think I own any Monkey stuff at all, but I do like a couple of their tracks, and you find myself singing them on occasion, like I was just before I made this video. But Peter Tork lived till he was 77. I think only Mickey Dolenz is the only one of the four Monkees left now, because I think Mike Nesbitt died recently as well. Anyways, he left the band after the show was over because of musical differences. It would have been actually nice if they had all kind of liked what they were playing and did their own thing, but they basically were just playing a part, so most of them didn't really like what they were playing. Anyways, he was a pretty good guitar player, actually. And like he said when they were doing the show, if they had, and I've said this before in my Davy Jones look back to Davy Jones, they both said the same thing, that Peter would have been the guitar player, Mike would have been the bass player, and Davy Jones would have been the drummer, and Mickey Dolenz the lead guy, if they had played up to their abilities instead of being chosen for specific spots. Anyways, like I said, I liked Peter Tork quite a bit. He was probably my favorite of them. So sometimes find it hard to believe that he was 77 years old when he passed away. Just seems like yesterday. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed listening about Peter. Now, I'm going to talk about Ginger Baker. This is a totally different story. pretty much like what Peter was with the role he played as Peter Tork on the show was very different than his real life persona. This is the same here. Ginger Baker, great drummer, played in a lot of bands. Cantankerous, volatile, explosive, hostile. These things all describe him, I guess. And outspoken. Forgot about that one. He was born August the 19th, 1939 in, I think it's South London. Oh, Lewisham, South London, yeah. Okay. Died October 6, 2019 at the age of 80 in, wow, I can't even read that. Canterbury, Kent, that's what it was in England, sorry. Rock, blues, jazz, and this African sound that he liked. He also was jazz fusion as well, even though they don't really mention that, but I knew he was. Basically played drums, percussion, and did do vocals, but not as prolific at that as some of the other stuff. Active from 54 till 2015, so a long time. Blues Incorporated and the Graham Bond organization was really the first two kind of bluesy, jazzy type things that he got into to start his musical career. Then along came, he met Jack Bruce, and they had such a wonderful relationship, yelling and screaming. He actually threatened him with a knife, I think, once too. I never understood guys like that. Like they hate each other, and then they meet each other and they hate each other in a band, so they break up and they go separate ways, and then they end up together again and help form another band. It's kind of different. Jack Bruce once said that he and Ginger get along very well now because they're on different continents, although he thinks he's not far enough away. One was in Europe and the other one was in Africa. Anyways, they formed Cream in 66. They were together until 68. Sorry. Bruce, Ginger Baker and Eric Clapton formed that band. Then he left and joined and formed another band, super band, called Blind Faith, who only had the one album in 1969 with Clapton, Winwood, and Gretsch, along with Ginger Baker. Then he was with Hawkwind briefly in 1980-81. Masters of Reality next with I guess I should use my glasses if I can find them. I thought they were right in front of me, but they're behind me, so let's get these things on so we can actually see. The problem I have is that my handwriting isn't that good because my hands are arthritic, so it's hard to write, and I don't see well. That combination is not good when you're trying to do one of these things. Anyways, here it is. So he formed this Blind Faith with Clapton, Winwood, and Gretsch, which I've already said. And then he did Hawkwind, and then he did this group, Masters of Reality, with Googe, I think, and Goss in 1992. Then came the big BBM, Baker Bruce, and Gary Moore. They did an album together, and they were together from 93 till 94. That would have been an interesting listen. I'd have to go looking for that. He pioneered the double bass drum. He was one of the first. Him and Keith Moon were among the first two rockers to use it. He, as I said, he was a volatile. He had a huge volatile relationship with Jack Bruce, but yet they kept getting together. It's like a marriage, you just can never let it go. And he died of heart problems when he was 80. His last 3 or 4 years, he didn't play the drums. He had heart and back problems and all kinds of things. Well, when you're 70s, late 70s, that's bound to happen, right? I'm looking forward to it. So anyways, here we go. So there you have it. Ginger Baker, Peter Tork of the Monkees. I hope you enjoyed it. It's funny, I like Peter Tork a lot. I don't like Ginger Baker at all. However, give your dues where they're due. This guy was, you can say what you want, but he influenced a lot of drummers, even if they don't want to admit it. And he had a volatile temper, but the guy could play the drums. He was good. Put out some good music. Okay, so my honorable mentions. There's a few in here that I like quite a bit. Daryl Dragon of Captain and Tennille apparently also played with the Beach Boys. I did not know that, so now I do. Eric Hayduck of the Hollies. Al Hazen of B. Bumble and the Stingers. I remember that song. Paul Raymond of UFO. Played with UFO and Michael Schenker and a few others as well. Doris Day, who was a singer in the big band. I liked Doris. Funny is she married Patty Andrews, his husband. He left Patty Andrews for her. A little bit of gossip, about 70 years out of date, but I liked Patty. I liked the Andrews sisters quite a bit, so it was quite funny to find out that Doris Day had been involved that way. Anyway, she died. She was 97. Wow, hey. Yeah, that's happening. Anyways, next up was Gary Duncan of Quicksilver Messenger. Nan Gibbons of the Kinks. Basically just played with the Kinks. Eddie Money, of course, had some interesting songs that came out, and I knew a lot of them too, which was kind of funny. Larry Junstrom of Leonard Skinner, but spent most of his time with 38 Special. And Tim Hansen from Merciful Fate. So there you go. Honorable mentions. And Peter Tork, Ginger Baker. And believe me, I saw his picture of him when he was in his 20s. He was definitely a Ginger Baker. Trust me. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Rock Greats Who Thrilled Us but have since passed on. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. I almost didn't get this in today because I had a real difficult time accessing the internet. Some stuff was moved around and rewired, and I think it wasn't wired properly, but it might have been. I might have just it's having a difficulty connecting. So at any rate, I did get it started. I did get the video done, and it is going to come out on time tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So I hope you guys will enjoy this, and if you do, please like, subscribe. Tell me your stories about Ginger Baker and Peter Tork and what you liked about what they did or didn't do. Anyways, I hope to see you soon, and you have a good night and enjoy this tomorrow morning. Prog Monster out.